We are rocking and rolling. So I'm gonna practice this little thing every time in the sense that this is Buff on a Budget, right? So what is Buff on a Budget, and how can I create a brand out of that? That's what this process is. So for me, Buff on a Budget is what we're doing right now, right? Is we're gonna take either stuff we have in the freezer or simple ingredients that we can make at a very affordable cost to increase the value of our food, whether it be nutritional value or flavor value, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we can improve our nutrition and make it part of our lifestyle versus just going on a diet, right? So if we have to eat chicken every day, let's make it a flavorful chicken. If
Mm-hmm.
we have to eat whitefish, which is less flavorful generally than salmon or red snapper, because those are fattier fish, right? If we have to, so we want to be able to infuse as much flavor, our flavor, as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's really cool about learning how to make all these things that we're going to go through today. So I, so like I was saying that prior to us getting started, like something like a citrus oil, right? Where I can take from a recipe that I made earlier in the week, and because generally we want to buy fish fresh. Now, of course, I understand you're going to sometimes, especially for those that don't live in coastal areas, they don't have
Mm-hmm.
the accessibility to fresh fish like we do. So we want to make sure that you're going to buy good quality frozen fish, which is generally wild caught. We want to try to stay away from farm fish,
Mm-hmm.
especially for buying it frozen because we have that availability. And we always want to take it out one day prior to cooking it. So anytime we make fish, it's always going to be like, okay, I'm going to make fish. It's not like something that's random.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is, it's because you stopped at the fish guy on the way home. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the only difference between, let's say, using fish for this recipe or chicken. So simple recipe, we need a pan or a 425-degree oven. So the pan is going to be at a medium high heat. I'm going to just let it start. Okay. The fish, generally cod, and the reason I left mine whole is so I can show you guys how I cut my fish. We can go through from A to Z. There's no questions. Now, if you're on a high protein diet, I would say, hey, look, a white fish is like they say, very flaky, very digestible.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, what 4 ounces of red meat would normally be, let's say, part of your diet, or 4 ounces is a good portion for a female or someone of a smaller stature. Someone that's looking to build muscle, though, you want to get to like 6 ounces, 8 ounces, right? Because the only thing that's going to happen with protein if you're lifting weights is it's going to go into building muscle, right? Especially a lean protein like a white fish, right? If you eat a big steak, you're going to feel full throughout the steak. But a piece of fish, generally, it's going to not fill you up. It's usually the sides that fill you up. So, depending on where you're at, I would first say, like, the first couple of times you make fish, measure it out, put it on scale, see what your portion size looks like, especially if you're looking to learn, if you have a certain goal in mind, right? I'm gonna post. I made a food. I shot a video a few months back about food prep towards your goals, right? Sarah, you've seen that, but watching that again will give you such a better understanding of what, and you'll be able to hear so much better what I'm saying because you will have gone through the process more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thumbs up?
Yeah. So I just realized that you can probably hear Guardians of the Galaxy in the background, so I'm going to stay muted as much as possible. But
No problem.
real quick, for my pan, can I use a cast iron? Because if so, I got to get it heated up now.
Absolutely. Mine's already, you can use whatever kind of pan you guys want. So like, that's also, why I want to make sure that, look, I like making sauces in a saucepan. It makes sense. But you can do a nonstick pan. You can do a cast iron pan. You got to go with what works. So 4 ounces is usually about 4 inches. I usually say about 1 inch an ounce. It's pretty easy to remember it like that, right? So if this is generally a thicker piece, as far as spread wise, right? Dimensionally, the cod is thicker than a fillet, let's say. So I would say instead of a 4-inch piece, I would do a 2.5 to a 3-inch piece. So about the size of my finger, and I'm gonna cut it. Does that give you guys a little bit of understanding of how to portion? And then you'll see it's about a fistful.
That kind of looks like what my pieces are already, because I have to get previously frozen, but I do get wild caught at least, but it looks like that's about the size of what they are already cut into.
Yes, exactly.
Most of the time. Sometimes you get one tiny one and you're like, why did I pick this bag?
That's them making it cost for the cost. Okay, so what I wanted to show you here prior to putting the oil on the pan is so what I was talking about as far as like where are you going with your goals. So like if I'm trying to lose weight but I want a really flavorful dish, I'll use my orange oil, my citrus oil that I made. If I'm looking to add calories, I can do a sage butter. So taking some fresh sage and like room temperature butter and chopping up the sage and just blending, like mixing it in a bowl. And then you have a pre-flavored butter, right? So instead of 5 to 10 calories added into your oil, it's 50 to 100 calories, but it's flavor and it's healthy calories. It's not processed calories, right? Or if I really want to go heavy, I could do duck fat or bacon fat. And that's how you can add an extra, because sometimes you're going to see like, you girls are tall, right? Leggy ladies, that means you're tall. That means body mass index, you're going to have to build more, like you're going to have to gain weight to build more muscle, which means you're going to be struggling in the beginning to get calories in, because I'm sure you're not scarfing down 2,000 calories a day, right? But eventually, as you go, let's say you want to get to 150, 160, 170, I don't know, where your goals are, but that's gonna that means 2,000 calories, 1,800 calories, like, and if you want to build really a lot of muscle, that means you're gonna have to go even more, right? So how can you slowly teach your body to do that instead of scarfing down all these calories and then bringing in fat that's not wanted, right? That's not easily digestible. That's not coming in with a full meal and like because when your body eats, it eats like this. Am I getting my proteins, fats, and sugar? Like every snack is considered a meal for your body. Just so you guys know, it's like when you have a banana, you'll get more out of the banana if you have a banana and a protein shake, because it's a balanced meal. Even if you have the banana and then the protein shake an hour later, it won't be the same as if you have them at the same time. Like, that's what I mean. So if you, like, for example, people eat peanut butter a lot, right? And they're like, oh, I love it. I can't stop eating it, but it's making me gain so much weight. Yeah, because you're eating it off a spoon with nothing, there's no, there's no complex dimension, there's no dimension to it. So it's just fats, right? Or rice, it's just carbs. But if you have rice with a protein, now we're talking really scientific, but like now the glycemic index changes of the food. So it's like, if the more you understand that, the more you can succeed in your meals as well, right? So that's why it's important to be goal oriented with your meals. So we have our fish, we have our choice of fat. Okay, you gotta do your thing. All right, so we got our choice of fat. I'm gonna drizzle my pan with a little oil. Now for me, again, this is all like, what's great about this is you do you, right, Boo? So
That's right.
I'm gonna put on my plate, because I like a little garlic. I'm gonna do some finely chopped garlic. Actually, I'm just gonna slice it because it's gonna look nicer on the plate. About 2 pieces, because I don't mind. Put that on the pan. Let that cook. So you can do this however you want, but let's say if you're doing a lot of pieces of fish, I'm just making 1 or 2 pieces because it's Tanya and I. But if you're doing a lot of fish, guys, ladies, excuse me, and you're adding a lot of different seasonings, put it into like a little jar, mix it all together, so that way when you spread it over the fish, because let's say fish, for example, is a much more delicate protein than steak. Steak, you could just char the pepper all over and salt it all over because it can absorb a lot of that. But if you put a lot of salt on a piece of fish, you're going to taste that right away. So we want to make sure that when we're spicing fish, especially, we want to make sure we're putting it in a jar prior and then season it. Or if we're making a marinade, I'm putting my seasonings in first, my oil, marinade, really mixing it well, and then adding it onto whatever protein. So make sure your garlic does not burn. Create space for your fish. Drop a little salt on your fish and the salt and pepper mixture that you did, just on the top, okay? Because again, fish is very delicate. It's gonna pick up a ton of flavor really quickly. So, do we have our fish prepared, ladies? Take your time.
Almost.
Yeah, and that's something that I have to work on is like pacing myself more so you guys can better understand what's going to be happening. Is that Jack crying? Oh. Give him a minute. Jack's calling.
Oh, poor Jack. He's calling for Daddy specifically. Aw.
Yeah, of course.
All right. About how hot do I want the pan? Because I know cast iron holds heat. Medium.
Medium
Okay.
high. Medium high. So something that I should have done, which I will do in the future, is give you guys a little bit better of an outline of how the session will go, so you can kind of be better prepared. It's like, hey, first we're gonna chop the garlic, sage, yada yada yada.
I like
So
that.
pan should be medium heat with a little bit of garlic.
Mm-hmm.
It should be cut, salt and pepper mixture on it. And then whenever you guys are ready, we're gonna drop fish in the pan.
All right, I am ready.
Ready too.
Awesome. And then I have my other fish going into the oven. I put a tiny bit of fish stock on it. I'm sorry, vegetable stock. And I'm gonna put.
The capers, are they only for if we're doing it in the oven, or are we going to be using them?
No, we're gonna be doing the same thing in the pan. I'm just showing you how I'm doing, how I would, let's say Alyssa has 2 small children at home and just came home from work. And she does not have the energy to stand here in front of the oven while the baby's screaming and her toddler's calling for her, like Jack is calling for me. So she's gonna take her lemon, her capers, salt, pepper, 425 in the oven, 12 minutes, and we'll see you later.
Mm.
Leave a timer, and that's it. And then when it comes out of the oven, we're gonna squeeze some lemon on it, and we're gonna have a wonderful meal, like a hubby, after the kids go to sleep.
Heavy.
Or the boys. But you don't have to put 2 kids to sleep, so.
Yeah, no, that's
You can make
that
it
was
in the
my
pan.
choice.
You can make it in the pan. So we can,
Going
if
in
we
now
want.
with the fish. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, the fish is in. Yeah, the fish is in with
Oh,
the garlic.
shit.
And we can put some more seasoning if you'd like on top. We can put seasoning side down.
Seasoning side down.
Yeah, sorry about that if I didn't say that.
I remember that from last time. As soon as I put them down in the pan, seasoning
that's
side
my
up,
fault
and
because
I've done that before. I don't know why.
Alyssa wasn't there to watch. So that's my fault. Alyssa, sorry.
All right.
That's actually something I was going to ask Amir. Is
Yeah.
Because you can tell there's like the upside for the fish and then the downside. I put the downside down, but that's how it was on the plate, and that's why that top part got seasoned. So in the future, what's the best side to season first that goes down into the pan first?
So skin side or flesh side is what?
There's no skin side, but I'm assuming it's like.
So so I like my top charred. So I'll cook the flesh side.
Okay.
And then I'll turn it over and finish on the thinner side. Right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because it's
Yeah.
thinner, so it cooks a lot faster.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that my fish is fully cooked.
Okay. Got it. No, then, like you said before, with the seasoning, then how much of the seasoning is really a matter of preference.
Correct. That is always a matter of preference. Seasoning, flavor, always are preference flavor. Let's see what's going on with Jack tonight. You don't have a nightmare night.
That video of him picking up the kettlebell was so dang cute. Should my garlic be browning already?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
If it's turning black, then get it out of the oil.
Okay.
Push it away from the oil. There shouldn't be that much oil in the pan anyway.
Oh, well, I like a lot of butter, and I might have just put a lot of butter in it, so I'll get it.
Okay, that's okay.
I'll beach the
Butter
garlic.
But butter will cook down, where oil will only absorb into the.
That's right, because whatever water is in the butter is going to evaporate, right?
Correct.
All right. Speaking of crying babies, I need to go grab mine real quick. I'll be right back.
Don't worry.
You can't go wrong with butter and garlic. I've already told them.
No, you cannot.
Anything else I should be preparing right now?
This is That's why, like, right now we're like going through basic stuff because as we get more advanced with our cooking ability, we're gonna make full meals.
Oh, yay. I was like, what am I need to get the rice going. I've got veggies
Yes.
in there. So that's what I was thinking, like, oh shit.
Yeah. See, like, I
Oh,
don't
what
want
a
to do
cute
that.
nugget.
What's up, dude? So yeah, right now we're just going through like proteins, right? How to make easy proteins, how to really flavor them quickly, how to get them on the pan, get them going, so then we can make all that other stuff.
Got it. Okay.
That's
Cool.
what this is all about. How we can bring it all together really quickly, really affordable, at a really high level, like in a professional kitchen.
I'm excited because I've been I subscribed to Bon Appetit magazine like right after COVID blew up, and I was like, well, I'll have a lot more time to cook like I like to, and I've been following along, and it's so much work just for one dish out of those dang magazines, like, and it's not even a meal, so sometimes it's like 2 hours later, and Eric's like, is it almost dinner time? And I'm like, yes. 30 minutes later, it's maybe done. So this I can really appreciate being done quickly. And
Awesome. I love it. Take it out of the pan.
garlic is coming out of the pan.
Have we turned the fish or anything yet at this point?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
We're
Just making sure I didn't miss that.
So Alyssa, and it's okay, and this is a great question, is how long do we let the fish cook? How do we know when to turn it over? And the answer to that question is, with fish, we do like an 80-20 rule. So when 80% of the fish has been cooked all the way through, and you could see it going up the sides, and it starts to come over the top, that's when we're going to turn it. Because that's when we're going to turn it, flip it, finish it, let it sit, because carryover cooking happens. And that's when we're going to finish our sauce within like a minute. Because we're just going to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice, put some capers, white wine or broth, whatever you prefer. It's going to cook down within a couple of minutes, and then that's it. And you put that over your fish.
Okay.
And then you're fancy.
I thought I had vegetable stock. I do not. I have chicken stock, or I have some sake. Will sake work?
Sake. That's what's beautiful about this, and what I want you to learn. It's like, what do you like? What pleases your mouth when you eat? Because that's how I want you to cook. That's how I want you to learn to cook. Like, because that's how you're gonna be successful. Because if you're constantly eating boring meals, you're gonna fall off track. You're gonna have cravings that you shouldn't, that don't match in line with your goals. Which it's okay. Like, it's okay to have stuff, but if we learn to teach ourselves 90% of the time how to eat really good food, and then we have less urges to go out to eat, we're saving more money, we're having it's a better experience, because now it's like, wow, honey, look at this meal I made. Like, wow, did you think we could do this and have this kind of food at home? It's like that, that's why I posted the duck breast, because like, if I took Tanya out for duck breast like that, like, that'd be an easy $160 meal with wine and appetizers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because duck breast is going to cost anywhere between $35 to $45 at a restaurant, at a good restaurant. So our fish is like 60% cooked. Looks like, or mine is at least. Again, you can bring it up higher heat. The higher heat, the faster it's going to cook on the outside. I like to get my fish cooked through evenly, so I put it on no more than like a medium high. Even medium high is gonna cook it a little faster than you want. So you can start rolling out your lemon, make sure it's nice and juicy. That's how we get more juice out of the lemon. Pull any citrus fruit and roll it out of the table, so we're loosening up the juice. So we have our lemon juice, our vegetable broth, our capers, the second we flip over that pan, everything's coming right into that pan. I would make sure that that baby and you are not near the pan when you
Okay.
drop in the sauce and the stock, because it's a hot pan, so it's gonna, there's some oil in it, so you may get some
We're
flashback.
just juicing the lemon, right?
Yeah, we're just juicing a little bit of the lemon into. So if I wanted a really heavy lemon flavor, then I would put some lemon peel. I would mince some in, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where really all that citrusy flavor is in that peel.
Oh yeah, the oil.
All right, so my fish is ready to turn. I don't know where you ladies are at.
Oh no. Oh, yeah. It's so bright.
I know.
I'm stuck a bit. I'm sticking.
There you go. So I'm gonna drop my vegetable bowl. Use a lemon. Make sure you don't get any pits in there because it'll make the sauce bitter.
How much?
I did a half a lemon. I did about a quarter of a cup of vegetable stock and a half a lemon. And I did about 5 pieces of caper. So I'm gonna bring you ladies over.
So you said about how much wine?
About a quarter of a cup.
Okay.
That's gonna reduce really quickly.
Okay.
There you go. With the wine, really make sure you're stepping back.
Okay.
Or you could even take the pan off the heat. Let's see.
And then how much lemon?
Half a lemon I used.
Half.
I've ever cooked with capers before.
So you're gonna use just about 5 or 6 of them.
Okay.
The garlic that I took out, should I put the non-burned pieces back in now, or?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
If you want, again, like, it's how do you want it to look in plate?
I love garlic, so
So
any
put it in there,
recipe
girl.
that I have, I like always do a full extra clove, not more.
We're good to go then. We'll have an extra clove for sure. So you can see my sauce is really reducing.
I need to get some new pans because we've got some nonstick that we're trying to get rid of, or I'm trying to get rid of. And so I'm just curious if you have any recommendations for like a really good all-clad. That's what we're looking at.
All-clad or Calphalon. That's it. My sauce is done. See, that's about as much sauce should be left in the pan. About 2 tablespoons per fish. Right? Because we're making a reduction. We're using a pan sauce. We're not making a big, gigantic pot of sauce. We're just doing a quick pan sauce. And I'll show you the oven is also done.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Look at this beautiful piece of fish out of the oven. Well,
Nice.
you can see the sauce as well, right? That citrus oil that I use is like orangey, super flavorful. And then I will, for this piece, because lemon didn't go in the oven with it, it will get a squeeze of fresh lemon. Ladies, that's it.
What do we do with the parsley? Is that just like for garnish on top?
Yep.
Cool.
Just for garnish.
Well, that's awesome. I'm excited. It smells amazing.
Yeah, it does smell really good. That was very simple and
I think it feels very fancy. It was very simple.
And that's, and that's what's cool is like, it's learning how to put it together and doing it a couple of times and then be like, oh, that's not so bad. Because Sarah, is it any different than how we cooked the chicken for the past 2
No,
weeks?
it's the same principle for sure. The same steps.
The only thing I would say is like, for example, with something like fish, you're going to use like lemon or lime, something that's more robust in flavor than, let's say, orange for the chicken. You could obviously make a lemon chicken as well, but in my, for my palate, orange chicken is more flavorful and less than fish with lemon, because fish with lemon, it's like that lemon like adds a nice burst to the fish.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep you guys away from your fish too long because it's fresh. So enjoy it. But if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them, and then we can decide what do you guys want to work on next week.
I don't have any questions other than because mine kind of stuck to the pan quite a bit. Did I have it too hot?
Not enough oil on the pan.
Not enough oil. I noticed it was going down to the outer edges, and so I kept adding more, but it kept doing that. So maybe that's not the ideal pan for this. I'll have to find something else. Maybe that's a good excuse to get that all flat that we've been looking at. So
awesome. Any questions, Alyssa?
no questions. I did have the same issue as well with a little bit of sticking to the pan, so I think I didn't use enough oil.
Okay. Two things you can do there. One is add more oil, more fat. 2, let the oil get a little bit hotter.
Okay.
So you get that first, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
All right. Well, ladies, Levita,
Hey,
we're about to finish up, but that's it. Enjoy your dinner. I'll post something. We'll do another piece of fish or maybe some vegetables. Maybe I'll do some sides next week. But if you guys have requests, let's put it in the group. That's
okay.
Let's again, I want to be able to make this so, hey, how can I help you work towards your goals more? And we could do nice stuff again. It doesn't matter. It's really
I'd like to do maybe steak because I don't do that very often. And I'm like butter, salt, and that's it. Like if I could do anything to make that a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, we could do steak. What's up? Levita, you have a question or?
No, I just got here. I lost track of time.
That's okay.
All right. Fish is done. That was fast.
Yeah. Well,
thanks,
fish,
Amir.
that's the beauty of fish. It cooks quick. Ladies, have a great night. Enjoy your
Thank
meal.
you.
Thank you so much.
You too.
See you.
Bye. Bye.